What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing great today. We're gonna string some rackets. We're here to get some people coming in here. I'm back at school. I'm stringing a new Diadem racket for a review. So if you guys are interested in seeing what that racket looks like exactly, you can go to their Instagram page actually. It's their new Nova racket. So looking forward to testing this one, and I'm going to string it with my string here. So should be interesting. I'm actually just trying to pull up the stream on my other device here to make sure we're in good working order, and then we'll kind of start stringing and get after it. Okay, looks like we're in good working order. It sounds good. Hopefully you can see me clearly. If you can't, just let me know, and yeah. So we have this new Nova racket. I've never played with a Diadem racket before, so I'm interested to see, what it feels like. I know they have the Elevate. I think that's more of like the kind of like radical, kind of speed, they're more control-oriented racket. Where this Nova one, I think, from what I've read, from what I've heard, from what I've seen in the past, etc., 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 is more of a power and spin. However, on the side of this racket, it's actually saying that it's good for feel and touch, and I don't know where it went. Where did it go? Oh, maybe inside the racket. Well, I can't find it now, so that's great. Damn, I don't know where it went, but somewhere it's saying like power, spin, feel, it's got it all. So, I don't know, we'll see how it plays. Obviously I will be the judge, and I'll let you guys know what I think about it. But I'm sure it will play like a Babolat something. That's just my guess. Or like an Ultra or something. But I've never played with Diadem rackets, so it will really just be interesting to see, what it feels like in the hand, etc., etc. Greetings from Chile. Hi. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you're doing great. I'm not sure what time of day is it, or what time of day is it there. Is it later in the day? Is it earlier in the day? Don't know how that works. We're also going to be stringing my other racket as well, which is just my Radical that I normally play with, so nothing really exciting there. But I'll string that after this one. I only got 8 people on here right now, but I am stringing with Super Toro because I want to make sure I give this a very good, thorough review. And I do love my Super Toro, so I don't really want to even put anything in another racket. If you guys want to try Super Toro or like anything Toro line, you guys can use our code and get 20% off. Oh, that's one thing about these 100 square inch rackets here, guys. They, I feel like they're just in general way easier to string because the grommet, like the holes, are much further apart from each other. Well, sorry, not much further apart, but definitely a noticeable amount compared to, say, like 98, 95, 97 square inch rackets that have tighter string beds. I'm trying to find where it says on the racket that it... Maybe I'm losing my mind here. Maybe it was on the Instagram post that I saw that they shared. It must have been weird. Have I tried the 2023 Vcore 98? I have not. I'm trying to remember. I tried the old Vcore 98. And I tried the new Vcore 95. But I don't think I actually, I don't know, maybe I played with it off camera one day. I definitely didn't make a video on it, but I may have played with it. I honestly can't remember. There was a time where I was playing with a lot of different rackets just to do it. So yeah, I definitely didn't do a video on it, but I did do a video on it, and I have played with the old one for sure. Stringing this bad boy up, like I said earlier, of course, with my string of choice, and then I'm going to do it at 50 pounds as well. I was thinking about making it a little bit tighter actually, or like the string bed with a higher tension because it's a 100 square inch racket, but I said, you know what, no, let's keep it at the 50 pounds just to really see what it feels like compared to other rackets, because that's what I've been doing with other rackets when I do try them. I got my clamp in a weird spot here. Weird. I've been playing 3 times a week, but I found that I'm not making that much progress in my recent hitting sessions. Do you think switching a racket would help in some way? Wow, that's a loaded question, but I can definitely help you out there. So you're playing 3 times a week. First of all, it depends like how long you've been playing. So like if you've been playing 3 times a week for like 3 months, well, you haven't really been playing that long. Now, if you've been playing like all your life, then that's something else. So you kind of need to think about that first. Then I would say, like, when you're playing, like, what are you doing? Like, are you just like hitting down the middle for 3 hours or an hour? Like, is there structure to your hitting? Do you see a coach? Do you work on your technique and your footwork? These are all things you can kind of ask yourself. If the answer is no, I don't work on my technique, I don't work on my footwork, then I would probably say a racket isn't going to be very helpful. I would say that you should maybe try and do some things in practice to try and maybe get more out of your hitting sessions, because then all of a sudden, if you're doing more in your hitting sessions, then your practices become, like the hitting becomes more beneficial and you will get more out of them. And then all of a sudden you hopefully will feel a difference. The racket stuff, now if you are doing all these things, then you need to kind of assess, well, okay, well, what racket am I using? What do I like about it? What don't I like about it? And then you can kind of go from there. So it really depends on kind of where you are with that. I think that question you can kind of answer yourself. But yeah, hopefully I was able to kind of answer that for you. If you have questions on a racket, I can gladly help you with that. Just like you'd have to let me know like your level and stuff and like how you play and like what you like and what you don't like. Just tying off here, bear with me. Guys, Australian Open has started. Last night was the first night. What do we think about that? I mean, I feel like this year could really be different as far as the first slam. Novak is sick and is apparently having some wrist issues. He won in 4 sets last night, so is he the favorite? I don't know. Will he go far? I don't know. I did make a bracket. We actually have one with our team, which is kind of fun. I actually picked, now mind you, I made my bracket in like 20 minutes. Sorry, not even 20 minutes. I made my bracket in like 10 minutes. So I really didn't put that much time and effort into it. However, I still stand by a lot of the quick picks I made. I have Yannick Sinner winning, and I have him beating Carlos in the final actually. I mean, now we'll see, like that could very easily like not happen, obviously. But I do believe in those picks and that it could be like that. I think I had Novak going to either the quarters or the semis. I mean, that guy's good enough to make it there playing on 1 foot anyway. I mean, look at the guy is so good. Like, he was probably super sick last night, and his wrist hurts, and he probably didn't play great. And he still beat a guy that played probably the best tennis in his life in 4 sets. It's pretty impressive. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who kind of comes out on top. And also, I'm interested to see who wins the women's as well. Like, Naomi is back. Caroline Wozniacki's back. She won last night. Who's gonna lose early? Who's gonna go far? I'm sure there's gonna be some people that come out of nowhere. I always love that because I feel like that happens the most at the Australian Open. Who do you guys think are gonna win? Do you guys have any picks or like got any money on anybody? There we go. But yeah, I am back at school. Been back for just over a week, and we got a little bit of a holiday actually tomorrow, so no classes, but it is nice to be back because we will start our preseason this week. It will be nice to be on court more, and I'm having extreme difficulties getting this through. There we go. So yeah, no, I'm really pumped to be back and see everyone and start. Like, it's always so fun. Like, our season is so fun. There's always so much going on. People come and watch. You travel. This year we might be going to Buffalo as well, just to play a match because we owe actually a team a match because they came to us this past year. So it's always nice, like I said, to go on little road trips and stuff that are like not conference. Because now I'm in my third year, right? Like, we're always used to going on the road to like a certain place, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to, like, I don't know, like for example, we go to New York City all the time to play certain teams. And New York's great, and it sounds probably funny or not great that I say New York, meh, but it's just like meh because we've been there so much. So it's nice to go to different places, like, even though New York is probably way better and way nicer than Buffalo, it's exciting to go to new places and see different areas and different teams and just, yeah. I never bet, but I guess either Novak, Sinner, or Alcaraz. Yep, those are definitely good picks. Can't go wrong with any of those. I'm sure all three of those guys will make it pretty far. Yeah, we got potential Buffalo trip. We got a potential, well no, sorry, not potential. We are going to Florida for spring break to play some teams, which will be fun. Excited to do that. We've done that the last few years. It's always a good time. So we have that. We have maybe the Buffalo trip. Then we have our conference. I'm sure we'll play some teams that are, you know, regional matches, which will be big. And then, yeah, you got playoffs, and all of a sudden you're winning playoffs and you're losing in playoffs, and then hopefully winning and then moving on to regionals and then nationals. But yeah, it happens very quickly. Where is everybody? We don't have as many people on here as we did last time. I suppose it is a Sunday. Nice comment. If I was, would it matter? I'm literally looking at you. If I was, would it matter? That's probably not a question you should ask people. So I'll tell you that. cool racket, yes. I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. The paint job actually feels good in hand, but I don't know. It kind of feels like countervail, but better. I don't know if you guys are familiar with countervail. It's an old technology Wilson used to use, but I actually didn't like it. It felt more grippy. This is more smooth. The paint job itself, I don't actually love, but like I said, I do kind of like the texture. I've never played with a Diadem racket before. So, I mean, we'll see, but I do like the feeling of it in hand. I actually don't even know if they even have a new Elevate. I think that's what their more controlled racket is called. You like countervail? I actually did not like countervail. I thought the racket itself looked cool and the simplicity was nice. That's one thing I miss about rackets. I feel like there's so much going on now. Like I look at this Diadem one and like it is simple, but yet like they're trying so hard for all these little things. And I look at like the new head rackets, I feel like they're trying pretty hard. By new ones, I mean like the new ones, like the new Speed that just came out, the new Prestige. I think they look okay, but like brands are trying really, really hard. And I feel like actually those old ones, like when they did the Tuxedo Pro Staff, like I don't know, like sometimes rackets, like the paint jobs, they can just screw them up. Head has never been good at paint jobs, in your opinion. Yeah, they've had some good ones and some bad ones. I mean, as you guys know, I played with the Extreme for like 3 years almost. And I actually didn't like that paint job. And this is the one before the one that's out right now. Well, I don't even really like that one, to be honest. It's just okay. Yeah, the colors, the Radical, like my current racket right here, I like this. I mean, I actually think a color of a racket goes a long way. And that's gotta be in the decision-making process. Like, if you don't like the color of your racket, I mean, for me, it's a thing. Like, of course, I gotta love how it plays, but if I think it looks like shit, I'm not gonna buy it. Like, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not using that thing. You think that like Novak, Roger, and Rafa, when they see the new head paint jobs or Wilson paint jobs or Babolat paint jobs, and if they think it looks like shit, they ain't using that. You know what I mean? That's why some guys on tour for a long time don't use certain paint jobs or whatever, because number one, maybe they have a pro stock racket and it's not in that paint job for whatever reason, or they're super like crazy and superstitious and they don't want to use a different paint job. Like I could be wrong, but like Romanos, I think this is how you say Vinolas, for the longest time uses like a 2012 or 2013 Pure Drive or something. Like he uses a racket still with the same paint job. And some guys are just like that. But yes, to answer your, or like to kind of elaborate on your statement there, like I actually don't mind the head paint jobs to an extent. There's some there that are not great. Yeah. You and Flying Racket ever playing a set? Man, I hope so. That guy's a legend. I know him personally. Yeah, I mean, we've only ever seen each other really at tournaments, but I'm super happy that he's like kind of starting his own channel and stuff. I think he'll do good. He'll be very entertaining for people. He's definitely a good tennis player, and I'm excited to see how it goes for him. And like, of course, like I'm trying to think. He's also Canadian for people who don't know that. But maybe we'll try and figure something out. Try and figure something out here when I go back home, which won't be for a few more months though. The Rad would love to see that. What about the Radical? What do you mean? Like you would, I don't know what you mean. Unless I missed a comment. Oh, yeah, you were wondering why Emma Navarro doesn't use a new Vcore paint job. It could be a couple things. It could be because she is superstitious or something about a paint job. Or it could be Yonex has not come out with the Pro Stock model for the racket that she likes. Or she has not upgraded or doesn't want to upgrade to the new Vcore and she just has a bunch of one generation old Vcore frames. It could be a couple of things. Yeah, a lot of the times, like, for example, she could change mid-season or do something like that. However, a lot of pros are doing that stuff actually in the off-season, which is now over. Because when you get used to, you know, new rackets and stuff like that, or new shoes or whatever it is, it takes a lot of time. For me, this past like time getting a new racket was like very difficult because I played almost 3 years with like my extreme tours with the same setup. And like I had such a hard time. Well, for people that are on here that watched all those videos, you know that I did have a hard time switching rackets. And for them, it's like even another level. Because they just play every day for like however crazy amount of hours for years and years and years. And a lot of the times, once they get good, they just get that same model in a pro stock. So then when they try and switch to new rackets, it can be tough. And that also goes for shoes as well. Like Carlos Alcaraz is using the Vapor Pro still. And he's using that Nike shoe. Nike's trying to cover it up by making it look like the new Vapor Pro 2 or new, whatever the heck it's called, Vapor 11 or something. But it isn't one of those shoes, it's just the Vapor Pro with like a different cosmetic. So pros will do that all the time with rackets and shoes. Oh, rad. Sorry, a little slow there. Yes, I gotcha. Opinion on smaller head size rackets is a disadvantage to use one of these days. How small are you talking? If you're talking like, I think a racket that is below 95 square inches in 2020, what are we now, 2024? I think it is a disadvantage. If you're going out there and you're playing somebody and you have like an 85 square incher, like, what are we doing here? Like, it's one thing to go play with like an old Pro Staff or an old Prestige or something, and it's like, 85 square inch and you're just rallying up the middle or like playing some mini court games, but like if you want to actually have some success and like enjoy yourself on the tennis court, playing with an 85 square inch racket, I wish you the best of luck. I don't care who you are. It ain't gonna work well. So I would say that really the cutoff is 95 square inches. Like I don't even think there's anybody that's using a racket that's smaller than that on tour. For girls, definitely not, but guys, still. Like, I think Robin Haase, I think that's how you say his name, might have, if he still plays, he used a 93 for a very long time. And Cilic also used, or maybe still uses a 93. But these guys are exceptions. Obviously, they play at a very high level. And they come from a time where rackets like this were more popular, but like they're gonna, Cilic is on the downslope probably of his career, and I think Robin Haase is most definitely already on his downslope. So I would say the answer to that is a 95 square inch. Because Novak still moves pretty good with a 95. So there's some guys that are still using them and they get away with it, but many guys these days are using, 97, 98s if they want to have more of a control frame. It also depends on like how you want to play. If you want to play like high and heavy from the back and you're playing on red clay, then I wouldn't even suggest like having a 95 square inch. Like, what are you doing there? Like, you also need to get a racket that fits your game. Currently using a Diadem Elevate 98 for this season. Got it brand new for cheap, strung it up with Restring Zero and Wasabi X. Nice combo. I still have a Pro Staff 6.1 Classic. It's a 16 by 18 pattern. It is still nice, heavy but nice. Oh look, I'm sure it's probably like a beautiful racket to play with, but sometimes those rackets like on a super high level are just not gonna work. And I am a racket nerd, but I'm not super nerdy. Is that a 90 square inch, that one? I can't really remember. Because of course, like I've also played with like Pro Staff 85, but like when I played with it, it was literally for fun, and I was using it, for not very long. And actually, a lot of the time, I think the time before, what I did have an 85 in my hand was actually for the purpose of like working on extension and like racket path, because I was, at the time I was younger and I was like going up like this, very windshield wiper. So I had a hard time kind of extending. So the purpose of the 85 square inch racket was to honestly work on hitting the ball through the court, because you cannot have shitty technique going like this with an 85 square inch racket. So for the purpose of like getting rid of and introducing your flaws, I think that racket works well. But other than that, it's just for fun and games, I think, these days. 95. What are the most annoying, troublesome players you've ever played against? Ooh, that's a great question. I guess we're talking all time. I'll run you through a couple of guys that I hated playing against. First, I'll start off playing against guys that you're really close to, like your friends. Doesn't matter how they play. That is really difficult, especially when the match means something. Like you play for a national spot, or you're competing against another guy in your team for a spot in the lineup. That is one of the worst feelings ever. Because you can be the meanest guy ever, but you always have that, feeling in you, like you hate it. Like you would rather play against anybody else. So I know you're talking about style, but I thought I would mention that. Playing close friends in matches that matter, not a great thing. But as far as players, when I was younger, like way younger, I'm talking to like U12, played against this one kid, could never beat him, ever. Doesn't matter how hard I tried, what I did, I always lost. And he was like a moonballer. So I think for players that are younger, or players that are, you know, around that level that I would have been at, that's like, I don't know, maybe like a 5 UTR, 6 UTR max. The moonballer and the pusher, those kind of players are really annoying to play against because your tennis IQ is just not that good then, I feel like, when you're at that level. And you don't know how to finish points and stuff. So I feel like for me at that time, moonballers and pushers were really difficult for me to play against when I was younger. As I got older, I hated guys that would actually give junk. So this is like at the end of my junior career. You know, I would maybe play some older guys that were quite crafty, or maybe even they were younger guys, but they just hit a lot of like chip slice, and they hit like high and spinny, and then a chip slice, and then a weird short rally ball, or like guys that would break your rhythm on purpose every point. And then I kind of struggled with a lot of players like that. And now, I mean, now I feel like, you know, you're at the level, or a lot of college guys are at the level where there's not necessarily a particular game style that like destroys you, but it's just if they're better. Like literally, like if the guy just plays better than you that day, he will win. If the guy, and then that comes down to a lot of different things, right? Like that comes down to like mental capabilities and physical capabilities, and like how you prepare for the match. So now there's not actually really like a game style like right now that I don't like playing against, because I've played a lot of matches now that where I'm kind of like, I know what I'm doing. Especially with college tennis as well. You got your teammates watching you. You have your coach there. So you kind of have that support where it's like, if you do get lost, you kind of have help to potentially dig yourself out of that hole. I can tell you players that I do like playing against, actually. I do actually enjoy guys that serve and volley and have big serve. I feel like that's kind of a challenge for me, in a way that like they're serving hard and I love to pick off a return and like just kind of psych them out in a way. Like I love doing that. I love like running desperation shots, and like their whole game is to get me moving right away, and that's what I want to do. I love hitting shots. Like you think about like Andy Murray highlight reels, I love doing that. So when guys get me going like that, basically when guys make me start working, it sounds kind of funny, but like I like that. So yeah, I mean, once again, I feel like I'm at the level where people, or at least college players, you know, it doesn't matter how they play. If they play better than you, then they win. It's not necessarily a style. Sorry, I went on for that like forever. The 6.0 is the one that had the smaller head size. Thank you. Yeah, I did not know. There's a lot of different pro staff names from like the last while. Okay, where am I tying off here? This is a new racket. That was kind of scary. There we go. Thought I broke the string for a second. That would have been not good. Bro, this is annoying. They're so close together here. I'm having a hard time tying off this last one. There we go. Weird. That's tight actually down here. I'm not used to. And especially with a 100 square inch racket, like. There we go. Straighten these strings out. All right, all done. Looks pretty solid actually. Now it's just, you know, how does it play? I will say, like, I feel like some people must have thought that like Diadem rackets might feel like cheap or something, but like, I don't think so. I actually think if, you know, kind of customize one of these rackets, it could actually play really good. Huh. Interesting. See if I can try and find that shit that I was talking about earlier that's talking about like feel and it must have been, or no, it was on here maybe. This little thing. Aha, here we are. Power, feel, speed, comfort. That's what this racket's for. Power, feel, speed, comfort. Interesting how they're saying feel is the second, like in line to power, and then comfort is the last one, because normally 100 square inches are like power, spin, comfort. This one's power, feel. So I'm gonna grade the shit out of this on volleys because they're saying feel is important. So we'll see about that. I'm excited about that. All right, we still have another racket. I love my racket. I do. You know when you like string another racket and like, no shade to the Diadem. I haven't played with it yet, but like, I'm just like kind of doing like little shadow swings as you can see here. And like, it just feels good. It just feels good in the hand. It's, you know, your racket. Everybody knows it's like their baby, you know? They take care of it. Or at least you should be taking care of your racket. If you don't take care of your racket, then what are you doing? Same thing, guys. Tour line, Super Toro. How many people? We got 16 on here. You want to buy some tour line? Or I think you should try some tour line. They got tons of stuff on there now. They have Omakas. I can't say it. Oma, where they make a string for you, or a hybrid setup for you. They got lots going on. You can use our code if you would like to try any of their string. Sorry, I see some stuff coming up there. I'll read it just a sec. Are a lot of the guys like Ben Shelton College that cheer and shout when the ball... Sorry, let me read this again. This is going to be a good one. Are a lot of guys So I'm assuming you mean, are there a lot of guys like Ben Shelton in college that cheer and shout when it's 15-0, kind of over celebrate? I'm thinking. It depends on the time during the match, to be honest. I'll go with a yes and no. I will say yes first, and then I'll elaborate. And then I'll say no and I'll elaborate. So yes, because lack for a better, description, there's a ton of dicks out there, as we all know. Everybody's encountered them on the tennis court. And that's just the way it is. And unfortunately, there's a lot of immature dicks that play college tennis. So yes, there are guys that do that. Do I do that? No. Have guys done it to me? Yes. Do I like that? No. However, I will say no, because I feel like there's also a time and a place. College tennis is, a lot of the time, people don't understand. Like, college tennis is way different than your local USTA, Tennis Canada, ITF stuff, okay? It is way different. It's a different beast. It's like playing tennis a different way, okay? You got to think about other sports. Tennis, in college, guys will get rowdy. So, like, you're right. There will be a 15-all point or 15 love when it's 6-5 in the third set and I win a point and I go up 15 love and I hit like a beauty winner backing up the line. Man, I will be screaming for sure. And I would hope that my teammates would do the same, because then and there you got to get fired up, not just for yourself but for your team, especially if it's like playoffs and stuff. That's because tennis becomes a team sport, and that's what college tennis is. So you have to think about it like hockey or basketball, soccer. When these guys score, when these guys hit three-pointers, or they're in PKs, when they are hitting a big shot or they're having their moment, let's say, they're losing their shit. A lot of the times in tennis, you don't get a chance to like lose your shit. You know what I mean? Because we're never given that opportunity. We're taught to, shake hands, be classy, which is definitely the right thing. But a lot of the times for us, we're out here and our team, we're just so excited to be out there and so excited to share our love for like the game and like the fighting spirit against another team that wants it just as bad, that these emotions like come out. So I think it can be too much. Guys can be like arrogant and dicks. And I think there's a better way to show it. So a lot of guys will do it to try and get under your skin. I'm not a fan of that. However, I think that there is a time and a place to get fired up for yourself and your team. And if you're not doing it, I actually think there's a problem, if you know what I mean. So that was a very, very detailed answer. Whether you agree with it or you don't, we'll leave that for you. But yeah, that's just kind of my take on it. I know a lot of traditional tennis players and YouTube people that watch have some very, very strong opinions on that topic, and they think every college tennis player is disrespectful and they don't know the way of the game and it never used to be like this. Well, pal, I'm sorry, but you're probably just old because times are changing. So, like I said, I'm definitely not for being a dick and being arrogant. However, I am big on supporting your teammates and celebrating the moment. and we all celebrate. So I'm actually really for tennis becoming more in an event. Like, I know a lot of the soccer guys here at our school, and we go watch a lot of their games. And just soccer in general is also a very international sport. So when they score, it's awesome. When you go watch like NHL games and you go see your team play, like I'm a big Montreal Canadiens fan. Sorry if we got anybody that doesn't like the Montreal Canadiens in here. But point being, when I go see a Habs game and they score, or I'm watching them on TV, it's awesome. I love it. And I wish tennis could be more like that. And that's why college tennis is so cool, because you kind of get some of that emotion. And I think it could be even more like that on the ATP tour. And I think they're trying, but I just don't know if they're trying hard enough. Damn, I should like write a paper on that. I just had some great points there. Oh man, thanks for the donation. Appreciate that. That's nice. I'm glad you're liking the content. Thank you. Means a lot. Thank you. We never ask anybody actually to donate, really. Occasionally we'll ask people to use the super thanks button, which is what he just did. But I mean, if you guys do like the content, all the help is appreciated. That will go right into the YouTube bank for me. So I appreciate that. But I wish there was also another way to play. Like, college tennis is so big, and this is something that, you know, I've talked with a lot of people. I've talked to other college players from other teams. I've talked to other coaches. I've talked to people to come watch our matches. I've talked to a lot of people. And of course I have you guys on here, and I've learned a lot doing this. And the atmosphere that is picked up through college tennis is very unique, and I think if it was done on a world stage, like obviously we have the Laver Cup and Davis Cup, like how fun are those to go experience? I've seen the Laver Cup and the Davis Cup in person, and it's amazing. So if there was a way to have like a fun sort of league, like if, and it meant something for people, that would be incredible. And I think that would do really well. But yeah. What's up, Top G? Thanks, buddy. Yep. I haven't done a lot of these lives in the last while, just because, life gets in the way and you're in a rush, and when you're stringing, you're trying to rush. And I just never thought that it would be worth my time and you guys to come watch me rush string. But here we are now. I do have a little bit of time. I had some time there a couple weeks ago when I did one. And I have some time here today, and I thought I would do it with you guys. And I like doing it as well. It's nice. It can be therapeutic. Stringing anyway can be therapeutic. Some people, well, it depends on the day, to be honest, but it is nice. It is nice. And I do really love actually interacting with you guys. It's really fun. And I love when you guys ask really good questions, like that college tennis one. Like, I love answering those questions. In fact, I genuinely encourage people asking questions. What's going on here? I genuinely encourage people to ask questions because it makes the stringing more enjoyable for me while I'm here. And then hopefully I end up helping somebody, whoever answered the question. I ordered 2 EZO 98s, 2022s, and I have to choose a string. Do you know something about Polytour Rev and Lynx Tour? One sec, I gotta take a little drink. I'll get back to you on that. You know what? I was supposed to review Polytour Rev, and I never got around to actually do it. I think I have a set of that string either in my room or at my room at home. And I just didn't have the time to do it. However, I played with Lynx Tour for a long time. Sorry, I shouldn't say a long time. I played with it enough to make a review, and I definitely played with it in some tournaments, and like I played with it definitely for like maybe 6 months. So I gotta go back to your question here. Lynx Tour, it's solid. It's definitely one of Head's best strings, in my opinion. I like Head Hawk, I think, better. I think it's just more crispy. But Head Lynx Tour definitely is a unique option from Head. You can try it. I feel like, in my experience, it's on the deader side, and I thought it just kind of died out a little bit. But overall, like, that's nitpicky. Like, I'm talking about, compared to strings that I love. Like, I'm comparing it to like Confidential in this Super Toro. But if I couldn't use Confidential and I couldn't use my Tour line string here that I love, that would be up near the top of my list for sure. You know what you're going to get out of it. That's what I also like about it as well. Good spin, good durability. I just felt like it was a little dead. In a way that I didn't like. Like, for example, like Super Tour and Confidential, like they're deader strings, but I like the feeling that they give me. I thought like I would swing maybe, and like I just didn't get the feedback I wanted from the string. So I guess that's like a very miniature review of Head Lynx Tour for you guys in 2.5 minutes or however long that took. Great string though, great string. I don't want you to think it's a bad string. It's a great string. It's good. There's so many strings though, guys. There's so many strings out. Like, there's really like me and other YouTubers, we talk about, the best and the greatest, and I love Tourline this and he loves, Wilson that or whatever. At the end of the day, I truly believe there's not a string out that's like horrible. I think that there is a string that is maybe horrible for this type of player / person. The technology at this point has gotten so much better that like there's a string for everyone. Now, if I put Prince $3 synthetic gut in my racket, I would say it's horrible because it would be horrible for me and horrible for a lot of people. But for some people, Prince $3 synthetic gut would work excellent for them. So you know what I mean? Like, that's why you have to take reviews for a grain of salt. It's not always, I think you guys know what I mean here. Like, sometimes people say like, this string is so bad and blah, blah, blah. And the same goes for rackets. Like, I pretty much shit on the Head Gravity Pro. Not this, I didn't review the newest one, but the old one. I didn't really love that racket. But like, I had to maintain kind of a positive outlook on it because like, I know personally that even though that I didn't love it, I needed to feel what I felt with the racket. How is somebody gonna love this? And little did I know, I would see somebody probably a week later that's like, oh my God, I love the Head Gravity Pro. So like, you know what I mean? Like, some rackets and strings are horrible for certain individuals, but yet they're incredible and some people love them. So I kind of have to have an open mind. That's why reviewing can be tough sometimes. You really gotta be careful kind of what you say. And I feel like good reviewers do a good job of that. Okay, main's done. Main's done. Sorry guys, I'm sure you've put some stuff in here. I tried Lynx Tour in a hybrid with Velocity. I felt it died faster than Confidential. I think my dad actually used Lynx Torn and Velocity for a while. And I don't think he actually liked that combo either, if I'm remembering correctly. I don't know if he's watching, but maybe you can let us know about that, Dad. What are your expectations about the Australian Open? Who will win? Who will be the dark horse? And who are you looking for seeing them play the most? 1 sec, I will answer that. There's one more thing about Lynx Tour. I like the Lynx Tour, but I don't play the Racquet. I have it in enough to comment on its longevity. Okay, fair. Okay, Australian Open. I actually talked about this earlier, but I'll talk about it again. I made a racket bracket, and I made it in like, it was probably the fastest racket bracket I ever made in my life. I was actually working and like I didn't have that much time to put it together. So I think I made it in like 5 minutes. However, I still actually stand by all the picks I made. I have actually Jannik Sinner winning it all. So you could say that's my winner plus my dark horse. I have Jannik Sinner beating Carlos Alcaraz in the final. And I think I have Novak in the semi or the quarter. So that's kind of just my brief overview on the guys' side. I didn't make a girls' bracket. However, I'm very excited to see what happens on the girls' side. Like I was talking about earlier about, Caroline Wozniacki and Naomi and all these, girls and ladies that are playing again. And it's sick. I think that's awesome. And who am I most excited for to watch? I actually don't think many of you guys know this, but like I'm a huge Andy Murray fan. Like huge. I love Andy Murray. And I know some people are gonna be like, how do you like Andy Murray? Like he's so boring, la 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 la. Man, I just love his grind. I love it. And I love that he still plays tennis at his age and at the condition his body is in and all the shit he's had to go through. Big fan. Huge Andy Murray fan. So I always look forward to watching him. I was looking forward to watching Rafa as well, but we all know what happened there. But yeah. And of course, I always look forward to like watching Novak because he's just God tier. But yeah, man. Andy Murray, love watching that guy. Also, Felix Auger. I said Auger because I don't know if people will know who I'm talking about if I just say Felix. He's playing Dominic Thiem in the first round. That'll be an interesting match. But yes, my pick to win is also kind of the dark horse. It's Jannik Sinner. So we'll see how far he goes. He won last night. I actually watched his match with the guys. I'm using currently Confidential 16L mains, Polytour Pro crosses, and it plays really good. I was super impressed. Good content, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. That's a cool setup. I've actually never heard somebody using Polytour Pro and Confidential together. That would look probably cool too with the black and the kind of yellow. That's sick, man. And thanks for the nice comments. I do really love doing this because I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't like doing it. It is a Sunday afternoon and I could be sitting in my dorm chilling and watching Netflix and doing whatever else, but I chose to do it live with you guys. Also, I'm really excited because we're getting like some new upgrades to our YouTube kind of like presence, I guess you could say, that's coming soon. I don't want to spoil anything because like, you'll just see. You guys will see. I'm not going to get into too much details. Hopefully, our quality will, increase. I'll say that. And then also maybe, the start and the end of videos will maybe look a little bit different. But I'm very excited for the next, next little like 2 to 3 months. I'm excited. We'll also probably be wrapping up 130 this next week because our preseason will start. I'm gonna see how fast my serve is this week, and it's kind of gonna be the last thing. I think I can get it to 130, but you know, if I don't, that will be really sucky. But I will probably have to put that challenge away because I'm gonna really have to dial in on some other things to get ready for our season. But don't worry, everybody will be updated. What's up, Noah? I've been using RPM Blast in the mains and 4G Luxon Desert Bronze. Ooh, interesting name. In the crosses for a little comfort and have been happy with the setup. Both the 51 pounds. Cool setup, John. What do you think about new head rackets? I've got a speed. I mean, what new head rackets? I think Head makes great rackets. We were talking about their paint jobs earlier, how some of them are kind of hit or miss. I mean, that's another thing. We were also talking about how like there's not really a bad product anymore. And that goes for rackets as well. Like there's rackets that are out there that are great for some folks, and some rackets are they're just terrible for other people. 130 miles an hour, that fast? Yes, I'm going for it. If you go back to our first on-court video for the 130 challenge, I hit a serve I hit 6 or 7 serves that were 123. So I'm trying to make it a goal of mine, and that was like a few weeks ago. That was before Christmas break. It's been a goal of mine here the last, while to get my serve to 130. So we'll have to bring the gun back out and test it this week, and that's why I said no matter what happens, we'll have to put it to bed for a little bit. I can still work on my serve and stuff, but it just won't be the #1 focus here. There will be other things, and I will also probably start playing some more doubles as well, because doubles is very important in college tennis. How tall am I? I think I'm like 6'2" in a little bit, so like 6'2" and a half. Yeah, on a good day I'm 6'3". How about that? No, I'm about. We actually measured over Christmas break because some people were commenting saying, not on YouTube, just like family, was saying like, hey, you look taller. And I was like, I'm not. I've honestly just been putting in some work, more upper body work, because I was super, I wouldn't say weak, but like I didn't really have an upper body before. But like I'm trying to really work on everything now because I want to get to 130. And most people have seen some of those videos, so if you haven't seen some of them, you can check some of them out. So yeah, a lot of people thought I was getting taller, but I don't think I really grew or anything. I'm done growing. Man, I would love to see you playing versus Karue. Man, last time somebody commented that as well. Man, this is a true fact right now. I actually know somebody extremely well. He's in fact like our assistant coach, and he still plays, and he plays a pretty good level. And he's actually he's at the same ITF right now as Karue is with Simon. I don't know if you guys saw that video, but it was just a recent video that Simon and Karue put on their channels. Anyway, he's at the same ITF in Ithaca right now with them. I think it's at like Cornell or something. Yeah, that helps with serve, absolutely. How old am I? I turned 20 back in October, so like still 20, but like 20 in November, December. I'm like October and 2 and almost a half months. So 20 and 2.5 months. When testing rackets, do you think it's more important to tune the racket to your specs first or stock? Great question. Need to get a water break though. This is going to be a good one. Okay. First of all, round of applause for that question. That's a great question. How do I answer this one? I've done both. So, but that's because I've tested a lot of rackets. So like, maybe you don't want to do that. I will tell you, I have done both. So if you put weight on from the start, you're really got to know what you're doing. And you got to know that you absolutely will not like the racket stock. And I did that a few times because, you know, I was trying to bump up the swing weight and the static weight and change the specs with some rackets when I was trying to switch. I don't recommend that because you really don't get to feel the potential of a racket unless you really know what you're doing. And sometimes I don't even classify myself in that category. I'm not like a racket technician or anything. I just feel like I have a good enough knowledge to do that. So actually most times I like to demo, and that's why I will demo this Diadem racket right here for people that didn't see it before I was stringing this. I will test rackets or demo them or do reviews on them stock because I feel like I will really be able to feel the racket, how it plays under pressure, stock form. Because after all, that is the racket. That's how it was made. It's how it's supposed to be played. So you really get to feel how it plays when it's in stock. And then if you're like, hey, you know, I like the feeling of the racket in my hand, and you know, it feels pretty maneuverable. I like it. It swings through the air nice. I like the color, whatever it is. But you have some buts. Then that's where you can kind of tinker with it even more. You can throw some weight on it. You can put silicone in the butt. You can put double grip. I mean, I don't know, do whatever you want, leather grip. So that's why I suggest testing it first, stock. So I guess I just answered the question. I would recommend testing it stock first. Sorry if that took so long, but I have done both. And it depends on where you are in like your racket journey or whatever you're doing. Do you think you are at the same level as Felix from Tennis Brothers? We're getting like such similar questions that I did last time I did a live, which was only like a couple weeks ago. If I played Felix from Tennis Brothers right now, I think I would probably get my ass kicked just because I have not played a match in like months. Like we're talking, I haven't played a match. I mean, I've played practice sets and stuff, but like that's not the same. However, at the end of my season, I would love to play him because I would be in match shape, just as he is in match shape as well, probably right now because he's playing so much. I don't watch a ton of his videos, so like I don't really know what he's doing right now. But yeah, it would be tough for me. I think he's probably like a 12 UTR or something. Like my highest UTR was like 11.24 or 2.5. Right now, it's actually like a point completely lower. And that's for a couple of reasons. You play in an East Coast conference can bring your UTR down. And for obviously some other reasons, I lost a couple matches I should not have. You get hurt, different things, right? But like, I feel like I'm actually way better than I was, like when I even had my 11.25 UTR. So that's interesting. But think of me right now with an 11.25 UTR sitting in here stringing. I would not be able to beat Felix right now. However, think of me with my 11.25 UTR and I'm, you know, halfway through my college season this year and I'm playing good and I go out there and have a good day. I would like to think I would have a chance, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's the answer. He's definitely a good player. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. He plays well. It would actually be really cool if he ended up doing college tennis, but I know that's not really what he's going to do now. What's my UTR? We kind of just talked about that. I think regardless of your level, the level that Felix has gotten is huge, and many people do not understand how crazy good the player is. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely agree with that. people don't understand like the level of tennis in general. Like you guys could really push me into a rant right now. Like, let's say we have a good 9 UTR. Many people are gonna be like, oh, a 9 UTR. That's a pretty good tennis player, but like not exceptional. And then you say an 11 UTR and you're like, oh yeah, that's like a pretty solid D1 player or D2 player, maybe even a D3 player. But in reality, the level between those two players is so close. And people don't understand that, like how you could be an 11 UTR, you go play a 12 and you beat the 12, and then the next week you play a 13 and you beat the 13. Your UTR absolutely skyrockets. And like, it's all within a few weeks. So then this kind of leads me to my next point. The guys that are grinding for ATP points, you think about like Karue and Simon and Felix and people that are like, well, I guess Karue has ATP points, I shouldn't put him, but like playing at that level that's, you know, ATP 500 and up in like back, like 1000 ATP. The level is so high. And I don't think people understand that that level to like a really solid 9, 10, maybe not 9, a 10 UTR and up, like the level is very high. And the guys play really well. Like, I'll play against guys that are 12 UTR and they play really well. But then I can go play against a guy that's a 9.5 UTR and I have to be focused. Like, that's a good tennis player. Like, everybody has played so much tennis in their life when you get to like this college level or like that low pro level that like anybody can win on any given day. And it kills me because people give tennis players a hard time. Like, it's friggin' hard, man. Like, tennis is tough. Like, that stuff is tough. And like these guys that are 1 ATP point and stuff like that, the level is so high, and it's just too bad they don't get the recognition, the respect, whatever you want to say, they deserve. Because you just look at other sports like baseball right now and football, the contracts that these guys sign are, I would say bad words right now, but I'm not. They're stupid. They're stupid. And it's too bad that like tennis doesn't have more of that. Because you look at a guy that's, you know, the 300th best MLB player or NBA or NFL, that guy, his pockets aren't empty, guys. They are full with like some cash out to here. Where you take a guy that's grinding on 300, 400, 500 ATP, you guys think Karue from iTennisHQ has like a big wad of cash in here? No. It doesn't work like that. And that's why it's so frustrating, because the level difference, if you compare the sports, is the same. You know what I mean? Like, it's so frustrating. Because these guys put in they dedicate their lives, they sacrifice, they give up everything. And they sometimes can't even break even. And it sucks. And tennis sucks for that. So that's my rant for the day right there, guys. I just delayed my stringing process by about 20 minutes probably, but it's okay. That really bugs me, because tennis is also such a global sport. And if you think about soccer as well, like, you can go play third league in Germany or fourth league in Austria or whatever league you want to in Europe and get paid, and you're on a salary. Tennis, you could be that same level and you're sleeping on the side of a road before your ITF. Good luck. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. And it's not fair. And I don't know whose fault that is. I don't know if that's tennis's fault. I don't know if that's ATP and WTA. I don't know if that's ITF. I don't know if it's federations like USTA and Tennis Europe stuff or Tennis Canada. Like, I think it's like, if you had a kid that wants to play tennis and go pro, like, no. Like, why are you going to do that to yourself? Like, it's a long road if you're not the best junior in the world or the best college player in the US. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, tennis is such a tough sport for that stuff. And then you throw in there all these other variables, like, okay, you're not from some place that has a lot of tennis, or you're from somewhere, or your parents, you know, can't financially support you. Like, that's crazy. Like, you're not on a team. It's all by yourself. So there's my rant. I'm sure I missed a ton of comments. Felix lately looks super solid. I'm sure he does. He's a solid player. So do I want to go pro? Man, I'd be lying if I said I didn't. We're definitely going to see what's going on here after my 4 years. Man, I tell this to everybody. I don't play tennis just to play tennis. Like, I play it because I love it and I want to go as far as I can. And like, that's part of the channel. Like, the goal for me is to be like, to kind of have the story where it's like for many people, I say this quite frequently, but I always get new viewers. So like, I'll say it again. Okay, where I'm from, we like to compare it to becoming a hockey player from Jamaica, because in our area in Canada, yes, there's pro tennis players like Felix and Dennis and Milos and Jeannie and Layla, et cetera, that come from Canada. But the area in Canada that I come from does not have an indoor facility. And tennis is not very large in the summer. So it was so tough for me growing up to get like good. So it was always like my dream to be like kind of this guy that like comes out of nowhere from like this really small town that doesn't have much tennis, is a very predominant, you know, like hockey town, because I mean everywhere in Canada has hockey, let's face it. I played hockey growing up, but like, I think it would be so cool to like one day, you know, play in like a slam, play in a slam, play in Indian Wells, go on tour for a year and play the big events. I mean, everybody when they're a kid, they want to win slams and they want to be #1 in the world. Of course I want to do that. Like, I'm not afraid to say those things. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Let's say that. But would I, you know, love to play in the slams and play like 2 years on tour? Absolutely. Would I love to live in a shithole and play in the challengers, even though it would suck and my life would be miserable? Yes, I would, because I want that. I think it would be fun. And like, I've dedicated a lot of my time and effort in my life to this sport. And I would really like to do that. So going pro is not for everybody, or trying to is not for everybody. I'll tell you that. I think you really gotta want to do it. And I know guys that are way better than me and they don't want to go pro. Or I know guys that are way better than me and have quit tennis. And it's crazy. You just gotta, it comes down to like, you just gotta want to do it. And I think if you know, have some luck, you have good people around you, you're good, like pretty good when you start, I think you can make it work. But it definitely is a grind. So yeah, the point of the channel is to bring you guys along. Like, and that's why I don't want people to get so caught up in, you know, stuff like this. Like, of course, I love to do racket reviews and like, I'm a nerd and like, I love tennis string and stuff, but like, the point of the channel is also to bring you guys like through my tennis life. Like, what does that look like? What does it look like to play college? What does it look like to, like, how do I handle being in third sets and I got to clinch and all these things? Like, what am I going to do when I'm done college? Like, I'll continue to bring you through my tennis life. So yes, I would like to go pro. Let's go, bro. We supporting you from Morocco. Yes, let's go. Thank you. What is your view on Ben Shelton? I think he's good for tennis. I think he's, yeah, I mean, well, I'm assuming you mean this. I don't know. I mean, whatever. I don't really let it bother me. I mean, it's good to see that somebody that played like college, like went pro, I guess. So he's a good role model for people, especially like maybe American kids. I'm not American, but like, guy that has a huge serve. It's nice to see somebody that does well with that. Have you seen the new barricades? I have seen the new barricades. My coach is 11 each year, and we played with me starting each game at 30-11. I only won one game. Nice. Yeah, no, keep doing that though. Maybe you'll get more than one game next time. The thing is that top 100 level is even higher, top 10 level is ridiculous, and then Djokovic is insane. Absolutely true. That is so true. You got guys that are like from 1,000 to 500, the level's insane, of course. You got guys that are, 500 to 100, that level is a little bit better, but still insane. Then you got guys in the top 100, and those guys are beasts. Everybody knows those guys. They're grinding, they can play for hours, they got great technique, they got great footwork, great tennis IQ. And then you got the top 10. And those are the guys that do all those things that the top 100 do, but just better, which is crazy. And then you have Roger, Novak, and Rafa. And those are the GOATs. And we know what they do. Let's just say that. I'm going to do this cross because I need to hurry up. It's 6:38 my time, guys. I have to go walk and get food after as well. So I have to pick up the pace. I apologize. It's been a good time so far though. But I will read the comments after this cross. Okay. Somebody said, I think that on TV you don't mention the actual speed of the game, only live or court level. That's also very true. People, it's funny because I think about people that just watch tennis that don't play. And I think they know better enough not to comment too much about like, so-and-so didn't do this or how did he miss that or whatever. Even just like me, I'm talking about me, like I'm not to like toot my own horn or anything, but like I'm pretty good. Like, am I gonna beat Felix right now? No. Can I go on the Pro Tour right now? No. Do I know how to play tennis at a good level? Yes. I don't play for maybe a few weeks, like as you guys saw maybe if you were watching some of my videos at home, I didn't play that much, but I was going to the gym. I come back here and I play against somebody, my level, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and it's fast. The play is fast. Even for me to adjust to the level that I am, if that makes sense, is tough. It's a high level. And you have to, that's what people don't understand, is the level is high. You do have to, it's coming fast. You have to react sometimes if you're not ready. So interesting. Once again, back to our conversation earlier about tennis, I guess doesn't get enough respect in that way from tennis players. We can talk about how tennis doesn't get enough respect from people that don't play tennis. But I'm talking about people don't get enough respect, or tennis players don't get enough respect from lower ranked tennis players or lower level tennis players. I'm sure that goes for a lot of sports though. Do you watch women's tennis? I would say I do, not as much as guys, but I do follow women's tennis quite a bit. I know who's winning, I know who's losing, I know who's good and who's not good. I am a fan. I would watch. I know some people are, I don't know, what do you call that, anti-women's tennis, and they only watch men's tennis and all this stuff. But listen, I think it's great. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I love watching it. I think Iga Swiatek is a beast. I think that when Ash Barty played, it was sick because she played how a guy would play, literally with the slice backhand and the nasty kick serve, and I think it's cool to watch Sabalenka just be a freaking tiger or lion out there and just hit flat winners from 30 feet behind the baseline all day. I don't know. I think women's tennis is entertaining for other ways than I don't feel like you're gonna have the long grueling rallies like the guys have sometimes. Women's tennis is just a little bit different, and some people A lot of time people just don't like different, and that's why they don't watch it. And a lot of people think, oh, Venus and Serena and, you know, the girls like Sharapova, you know, they were, you know, this and that. And women's tennis isn't the same. And yeah, just shut up. Tennis is just as good, or if not in better hands. You have new winners all the time. You have new rivalries. I think it's great. So yes, I do watch women's tennis, but not as much as guys. Grishra from Gladiators Tennis has a video where he hit with Medvedev and Rublev, and he talked about the difference in pace and quality compared to his level. Absolutely. There would absolutely be a big difference from there, because a lot of the times, like, you guys have like, or you have like an 11 UTR, and then 11 UTR might not even be like, I don't think in the top 1,000. Like, you gotta be, there is a big difference for that. Let me crank out 2 crosses here real quick, guys, and then I'll get back to talking. That one poll, when I think 80 or 90% thought they could win a game against a pro. Yeah. I do remember that. LOL, what? Or sorry, was it a game or a point? I think I could win a point against a pro if they double fault. Yes, I think people could win points against pros as well. Games are something else though, and it also depends on their level. I feel like a lot of those people that answered that poll were probably like old club players. Like, no shade to the club players, guys, but sometimes, and everybody has these people at their clubs wherever they play, the club players that are so bad, but they think they know everything. Once again, no shade to the club players. We need them, actually. They're big for tennis. But I can't stand those people. It's like, buddy, these guys or women or whoever it is, talk like they know everything about tennis, and they start talking about the footwork and the technique, and then you go watch them play, and it's like, what are we doing here? Every club has those people. And guaranteed, for people that do have those clubs, you're definitely like thinking of like a certain individual right now. And that's the best part, because literally every club has these kind of people. Well, we're on the last one, guys. Gonna finish strong here. Get in your questions or comments or statements or whatever you want to throw in there, because I'm about to wrap up. And then I'm gonna take off. Gonna go get some food. Had a good workout earlier today. That was not videoed for you guys though. Hopefully we'll be getting to 1:30 soon. I'm excited for that video, whether I get there or I don't. Do I have a lot of battery left on this? Oh, well, I can't tell. Weird. Well, guys, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. Nice to hang out with some people here on this Sunday afternoon. We have a holiday here tomorrow in the US, Martin Luther King Day. At home in Canada, we do not have a holiday, so I'll take it. Take the day off from school. And with that, yeah, I'm just gonna cut this here. Let me turf this string here and we'll wrap it up. This stringer is starting to get old. I definitely have it here for a few years. It's so big and bulky. By the way, Kate, nice to see you being live and interacting with viewers and their questions. Anytime, man. Anytime. I love doing it, so I appreciate you guys kind of sticking around and keeping me company, and hopefully I helped some people today. Paulie, was a relaxing and chill stream. Yep. Have you tried serving with pinpoint? So like your feet together when you hit. Actually, this is one thing I don't tell a lot of people, and it's actually a great way to get better at serving and, I mean, other shots as well. When I was younger, since I didn't play that much in the winter, I would spend like hours in my basement pretending I was like Roger Federer or Rafa or Novak. And I would like pretend I was these different players for like 10 minutes at a time. So like I would literally like go in the mirror or like get my camera and I would like pretend I'm them. So like I would like literally learn their technique, all their techniques. So to get to your point, I did like hit pinpoint stance serves for a period of time, and I actually went back and forth quite a bit when I was a junior because I just didn't quite find what I wanted. You know, I would go to pinpoint and I felt like, you know, I would open up too soon, or like I would go back to the platform and it felt awkward. Now I have a platform and I will stay with the platform unless something happens, but pinpoint actually can be pretty good for power and stuff, but I think a great way to actually get better at serving or other shots is actually imitating pro players and seeing what you like and what feels good and what doesn't feel good. If you're capable of doing that, that's something that I was able to do. Tomorrow's my turn to stream my rackets. Well, enjoy. Hopefully you don't take as long as I did today. I think we were on for a while. 100 minutes. So that's well over an hour. So hour and 40 actually. So with that, we'll see you guys later. Please take care and be on the watch here for the next few days. Hopefully we can get another 1:30 video out to really see if I get to 1:30 or if I don't. And then of course there's going to be, you know, this racket review coming as well, hopefully in the coming days, and we got lots of exciting stuff. So, you know, yeah. Take care, everyone. We'll see you later, and peace.